Good afternoon here, you two people. I said, what is going on with you all today? Ha ha. Yeah, I was listening to the radio a little while ago, and we have a very huge winter weather storm coming this way. It's not quite sure whether it's going to hit me here in Atlanta or not. It's definitely going to be North Georgia, but they're not saying whether it will be in the Atlanta metro area, so it'll be okay. I mean, even if I get some ice, it still ain't going to be good, because here in Atlanta, it is not safe to ride on the road in an ice storm. It's not. Snow, nope. Ice, nope. It's questionable in clear weather here. We have some really horrible drivers here in Georgia. Straight up and down. They are horrible. But, you deal with who you deal with. Anyway, because I'm straight up, I'm from Florida. And all of my dad's people on his side of the family, they're all from up north, up in New York. And in New York, it snows a lot. And they're very good with driving because they've learned how to drive in those kind of conditions. So in a clear condition, it's like a piece of cake to them, But here in Georgia, I don't know what happened. Somebody dropped the ball or something here, because there are a lot of drivers here that just do not know how to drive, period. And in Florida, there's a lot of really, really good drivers there. Plus all these snowbirds that come up from New York and that move down to Florida, which, it makes it a little bit better. Anyways, tomorrow night, it starts in the panhandle of Texas. There's going to be snow and ice, and then it continues to go east, and it sprouts up more and more and more as it comes across. Me being on the East Coast here in Atlanta, Georgia, I'm close enough to the beach. If you consider Savannah, Georgia is about 3 hours away from here. Just go down to I-10 and then go across and you're there, It's about 2.5 hours from Macon to Savannah. Nevertheless, it's not going to be a pretty thing, It really is not, and I'm not looking forward to it, but, I have prayed about it. I'm still praying. A lot has changed, It looked even worse about 8 hours ago, and it's changed since then, and it will continue to change. So, but, worst things worse, it looks like Sunday afternoon is when it's going to start here, if it starts here at all. And, it'll probably be a little bit of snow flurries here and there and a bunch of ice, Hopefully it's not so bad in ice. Ice storms here knock power out, take telephone poles and trees and things down, and just cause a whole lot of havoc on everything and everyone. So you're not looking forward to that at all, but, who's to say it's going to happen, It's just predictions in the weather. That's basically all we have to look forward to is a bunch of predictions. And if you go with that, hey, so you do. But if you are patient and wait to see exactly how it's going to flow, where it's going to go to, and this and that, you're cool. Everything's fine. Anyways, to get off the whole weather situation, I was looking at YouTube, which I do quite often. I learn a lot of things from YouTube, and I also already know a lot of things that are on YouTube. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks lately. It has actually given me a lot of what I would call peace. I have peace within me by listening to these audiobooks. I mean, I don't listen to like any drama garbage, romance and all that. I don't listen to all that kind of stuff. I basically listen to self-help type audiobooks and, relaxing type of audiobooks, ones that they might have the ocean, the sound of the ocean in them or whatever. I just always like to listen to things that, give you tranquility, but, I take deep breaths during this time, and I like feeling good instead of a bunch of chaotic stuff going on around me and stuff. I don't like that. The apartment complex that I live in right now, I mean, I did say at one time that I would, I'm going to save and wait and buy a house. I don't know. Like I said, if for me to buy the house that I want, it might take me a couple of years to actually get that type of house. And I don't want to live out on the street that long. I could live elsewhere, but why not live in a nice apartment? That's where I live now. I live in a nice apartment. I'm not like spending $1 million to live where I live, and it's cool. But nevertheless, I just wanted to save my money while I'm here, take advantage of what I have going on here, and go from there. And that's all I can think of doing, and it's working so far. But I wanted to talk about Leviathan, because Leviathan has become viral many, many times over. There's maybe 38 to 50 different videos that have gone viral here within the last 5 months. I've been looking at it. A lot of people give what they feel is correct about it. Okay, this is what I can tell you. In the book of Job, you have where it mentions Leviathan. And then in the book of Psalms, it also talks about it. So David also was much aware of Leviathan. Okay. And it also talks about the spirit of Leviathan and then the real Leviathan, okay? Leviathan would have been saved during the time of Noah, but it would have had to be in a, let's just say, not in a full adult stage at that moment in time. It was very small, like a snake. And now they are total adults, right? Well, it talks about my father killing off the head of one of the Leviathan. Okay, the Leviathan was supposed to have 2 heads. But most of the time, if you look into it, when it talks about a head, it talks about a particular entity with one head. But then if it talks about two heads, it could be talking about two different sexes. One sex is the male and the other one the female. Okay, if that is the case, then there is still one Leviathan here. But it would be locked under the ocean, like the ocean floor is frozen, and underneath of that would be Leviathan. Okay, that is what they're talking about, and that could very well be the case. I think if it was me and I was you, because a lot of people are worried about Leviathan, I would be worried if I were you of the 4 angels that were locked at the Euphrates River. That's what I would be worried about instead of Leviathan. Now, Leviathan could kill off a lot of people. Sure enough, there is going to be so many things that go on. You may not even get affected by Leviathan, all right? So just by you even making any kind of gestures towards that, I think it would be wrong already. Matter of fact, if my calculations serve me correctly, the angels are already unlocked from which they were locked, okay? And they are roaming this earth. And it says 1/3 of all of us will die. 1/3 of the planet will die, people. And you can read on and on about all the prophecies of the different angels and stuff that I believe already have been unlocked. They have been unlocked by the Euphrates River, okay? And that's just plain and simple. Just because you don't feel like anything looks different to you, don't take it as such. Because my father is just this. He is very subtle. And don't forget about Matthew 24. He said all of this will happen just as a woman gives birth to a newborn baby. So, it starts off very slowly, She might feel a little pain in here and there, and then the contractions become more swiftly and hurt more, and then so on, and then so on, and then so on. So just because you feel like the angels are not causing any mischief at this moment and whatever, I would really be careful in that. Now, what I would do is reopen all of the quest of these 4 angels. What each one of them represents, what causes this, because you have to look at it like that. What have you noticed that has changed within the last 20, 25 years? Well, I could tell you one thing that is absolutely changed. People think about the number 1, me. Me and money. Money and me, money and me, money and me, money and me. It's not all about you, and it's not all about money either. It's almost like you worship money, and all you talk about is yourself. Why not think of other people? I actually, this is why I like to talk online about things, because I think of others even before myself. This is how I became homeless. It absolutely is. Because I helped and helped and helped and helped and helped until I couldn't help anymore. I couldn't even help myself. But nobody wanted to help me get out of the situation. Why? Because I'm not like that. I don't beg for help. I have had help, yeah. Sure enough, people have helped me. But it wasn't because I went blah, 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 feel sorry for me. No, it wasn't like that. I put myself in this position, as I have said before, but I learned my lessons in that, okay? Now it will never happen again. I guarantee that. It will never happen again. But this is because of the strength that I have with me and the love that I have for my Father and the love He has for me, because I am absolutely sure He does. I would not be sitting here today talking to you if my Father did not love me. I know He does. Anyways, to get back with this, Leviathan, yes, he exists. Yes, he exists. Yes, he exists. But I would worry a lot less about him and more about the poor angels, honestly. And what I've seen here within the last 20, 25 years, especially okay, look at the Democrats. The Democrats 25 to 30 years ago, they were a little bit tolerable. You could tolerate them to a certain degree. Now you can't tolerate them at all. These people there's something wrong with them. It is absolutely a sickness within them. I love them all, okay? Honestly, I do. I love them all. And they could look at me in the face and spit and do whatever they want to do. But I still love them. But these people are lost. They are absolutely lost and getting nowhere. They are. And it's good that a lot of people have started waking up to this whole thing. It's like, wait a minute. Why are people acting like this? Why are they acting as if they're almost like animals? And I'm not even trying to call them animals, but what else can you call them? They're not acting right. There's nothing right about them. And they feel like, they're entitled and that they know everything about everything and the truth and this and that. I can tell you, I am not a Republican, but I'm not a Democrat. I could never be a Democrat. I don't know what you could call me. I'm a follower of my own drum because I follow my Father, true and true. I am not a Democrat though. And they're like sick. You watch them in these videos and stuff. What's wrong with them? Back in my day, Generation X, we did not tolerate that kind of action. We did not. But these people have become people like my kids' age and, similar to them and even beyond them years, like Gen Z. I don't even know what you want to call these people. They are just way out there and they're not getting any better. And nobody's reaching out to help them. But I don't know that they can be helped. I don't know how you would help them. Nevertheless, I just throw my hands up when it comes to them. I hope that someday somebody will teach them something or whatever, but it's going to have to be soon because we are getting down to the wire. I told you, 5 to 10 years. That was last year. Or the year before, one of the two. But 5 to 10 years, that's all we have. So, I mean, it could even be before 5 years, you know? It could be tomorrow for all you know. But it's coming. Oh, it's coming. And it continues to get worse and worse, and we continue to go faster and faster and faster. I was just talking in October, and right now it's already past the 2026 mark. You know, we're barking on February already, you know. You just turn your head and there it goes. And then look back and there it all was, and there it all was, and there it all was. It's just going so fast, it isn't even funny. But what you should know is that he's coming, and be prepared for when he comes, because he's coming. You know, a lot of people go, oh yeah, I know that already. Okay, you know it, but what are you doing about it? Are you changing your life to fit what he wants you to be within his kingdom? Or are you just, oh well, so be it? Or are you saying, I don't even care? What are you doing? Are you adding anything to anything? Or are you just sitting on your hands and saying, oh well, it is what it is? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say for anybody. I know for myself that I'm following in his way. I got my book coming out here soon, and a lot is changing in my life. I feel very calm. I don't want anybody from my past to come into my life and start bothering me. Leave me alone. That's all I can say. I don't need you. I don't want you. Just leave from my whole headspace even. Just don't even bother with me. And trust me, I will not bother with you. Anyways, I want you to know that I love you. I love you right there. Love yourself. Love my Father God. And by all means, love each other, people. Until the next time, love, peace, and soul.